Welcome to the Hidden Wealth Coins. Imagine holding a simple golden dollar coin and realizing it could be worth thousands, or even more. Hidden among ordinary Sacagawea dollars are rare pieces with secrets most people never notice. One tiny detail, one small error, or one perfect condition can turn a common coin into a life-changing treasure. Before you spend that coin in your pocket, stop, because you might be holding something far more valuable than you ever imagined. First up, listen carefully, because this isn't just another coin story. This is a kind of discovery that can flip someone's entire life overnight. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out what looks like an ordinary dollar coin, and realizing you might be holding something worth not hundreds, not thousands, but potentially millions. The 2000p Sacagawea dollar is one of those coins that hides incredible mystery and rare possibilities beneath its golden surface. Most people ignore it. Smart collectors never do. When the Sacagawea dollar was first introduced in the year 2000, it carried a powerful purpose. It replaced the Susan B. Anthony dollar and aimed to bring fresh life into U.S. coinage. Featuring Sacagawea, the Native American woman who guided Lewis and Clark, the coin symbolized strength, history, and exploration. But what many people didn't realize at the time was that certain early versions of this coin, especially those minted in Philadelphia, marked with a P, will become the center of one of the most fascinating treasure hunts in modern coin collecting. At first glance, the 2000p Sacagawea dollar looks simple. It has a smooth golden color, a detailed portrait, and an eagle soaring on the reverse. But hidden within a small number of these coins are extremely rare variations that collectors are willing to pay life-changing money for. These are not just coins. They are accidental masterpieces, created due to minting errors or experimental processes that were never meant to enter circulation. One of the most famous and valuable versions is often referred to as the Cheerio Sacagawea dollar. These coins were placed inside cereal boxes as a promotional campaign before the official release. But here's the shocking part. Some of these coins have a completely different eagle design on the back, with enhanced tail feathers that were later changed. Only a very small number of these coins exist, making them incredibly rare and highly valuable. Now imagine owning one of these rare variants without even knowing it. People have discovered these coins years later, sitting quietly in collections, jars, or drawers. The difference between a regular coin and a $1,000,000 coin can be so subtle that only a trained eye can notice it. That's what makes this story so exciting, and so dangerous for those who don't pay attention. Condition plays a massive role in determining the value. A coin in perfect, untouched condition, what collectors call mint state, can skyrocket in price. If your 2000p Sacagawea dollar has never been circulated, has sharp details, no scratches, and a strong golden shine, it already stands above the rest. But if it also carries a rare feature or error, its value can explode beyond imagination. There are also error coins from the 2000p mint that add another layer of mystery. Some coins were struck multiple times. Some have missing details, while others show unusual patterns or misalignments. These minting errors are not flaws in the eyes of collectors. They are treasures. The rarer and more unusual the error, the higher the demand and the higher the price. What makes this coin even more fascinating is how accessible it once was. Unlike ancient coins locked in museums, the Sacagawea dollar was released into everyday circulation. That means anyone, yes, even you, could have come across one without realizing its true value. It's like a hidden lottery ticket disguised as pocket change. But here's where things get serious. Many people make the mistake of spending these coins without checking them properly. They treat them like ordinary currency, not knowing they might be giving away something worth a fortune. This is why knowledge is power in the world of coin collecting. A few seconds of attention can save you from losing a life-changing opportunity. If you ever come across a 2000p Sacagawea dollar, you need to examine it carefully. Look closely at the eagle's tail feathers, the surface quality, and any unusual marks or differences. Even the smallest detail can separate a common coin from an ultra-rare one. This is not about luck anymore. It's about awareness. Collectors around the world are constantly searching for these rare coins. Auctions have seen certain Sacagawea dollars sell for thousands, and in extreme cases, even higher depending on rarity and condition. The idea of a $1,000,000 coin may sound exaggerated, but in the right circumstances, rare coins have reached unbelievable prices. The emotional side of this story is just as powerful as the financial one. Imagine the moment someone realizes that a coin they've had for years is worth more than their house, their car, or even their lifetime savings. That shock, that excitement, that disbelief, it's what makes coin collecting feel like a real-life treasure hunt. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Opportunities like this are rare, but they are real. The world is full of overlooked value, hidden in plain sight. The 2000p Sacagawea dollar is a perfect example of how something ordinary can become extraordinary under the right conditions. So never underestimate what you have. That small golden coin in your hand might just be more than metal. It could be your turning point. Check it, study it, protect it, because once you spend it, it's gone forever, and so is the chance it carried. In the end, this isn't just about coins. It's about awareness, curiosity, and the willingness to look closer when others don't. The 2000p Sacagawea dollar reminds us that sometimes the biggest fortunes come in the smallest forms. And if you're lucky enough to find one of these rare gems, your life could change in a single moment, overnight. Second up, imagine holding a simple golden dollar coin in your hand and realizing it could be worth more than everything you own combined. That's the kind of hidden power people believe the 2000D Sacagawea dollar can carry. It looks ordinary, feels ordinary, and yet, under the right conditions, it can transform into something extraordinary. This is not just a coin. It's a quiet mystery waiting to be discovered by someone who knows where to look. When the Sacagawea dollar was released in the year 2000, it wasn't meant to be rare or mysterious. It was designed for everyday use, minted in huge numbers, and sent out into circulation across the United States. The D mint mark tells you it was struck in Denver, one of the major mints responsible for producing coins in large volumes. But even in massive production, perfection is never guaranteed, and that's where the real story begins. Among millions of normal coins, a tiny number stand apart. These are the coins that collectors chase, the ones that spark excitement and disbelief. The 2000D Sacagawea dollar has its own category of rare pieces, coins that carry unusual features, striking errors, or exceptional quality that separates them from the rest. These differences may be small, almost invisible to an untrained eye, but in the world of coin collecting, small details can mean massive value. One of the most powerful factors is condition. A coin that has never been used, never scratched, never dulled by time. This is what collectors call a pristine or near-perfect coin. In such condition, even a common coin becomes desirable. But when a 2000D Sacagawea dollar combines perfect condition with a rare minting characteristic, its value can rise dramatically, sometimes reaching levels that seem almost unbelievable. Now think about minting errors. These are not mistakes in a negative sense. They are accidents that create uniqueness. Some coins may have been struck slightly off-center. Others might show doubling in the design, while a few could have unusual surface textures or missing details. These errors are rare by nature because most flawed coins are removed during production. The few that escape into circulation become hidden treasures. There are also stories of coins struck with experimental dyes or unusual finishes. These coins were never meant to reach the public, yet somehow they did. A 2000D Sacagawea dollar with such a background becomes more than just currency. It becomes a piece of history mixed with mystery. Collectors are always searching for these anomalies because they represent something that should not exist, yet does. What makes this even more exciting is that these coins were not locked away in vaults. They were released into everyday life. That means anyone could have encountered one, at a store, in change, or even forgotten in a drawer. The idea that something so valuable could be hiding in plain sight adds a sense of thrill that few other collectibles can offer. However, not every 2000D Sacagawea dollar is worth a fortune. In fact, most are still only worth their face value or slightly more. The difference between a regular coin and a highly valuable one lies in those rare details, condition, errors, and unique features. Without those, the coin remains ordinary. With them, it becomes extraordinary. Some collectors have paid thousands of dollars for specific high-grade or error versions of this coin. While the idea of $1 million Sacagawea dollar sounds exciting, it's important to understand that such extreme values are extremely rare and depend on very specific conditions. Still, even reaching thousands of dollars from a $1 coin is enough to change someone's situation in a significant way. Imagine the moment of discovery. You're checking your coins casually, not expecting anything, and suddenly you notice something unusual. Your heart starts to race. You compare details, look closer, and realize this might not be an ordinary coin. That moment, that realization, is what drives collectors and treasure hunters around the world. The emotional value of such a find goes beyond money. It's about the surprise, the disbelief, and the excitement of uncovering something rare. It's about turning something overlooked into something meaningful. The 2000 Sacagawea dollar carries that potential, even if only a small number truly reach high values. But there's also a warning hidden in this story. Many people spend these coins without a second thought. They don't check, they don't examine, and they miss the opportunity completely. A valuable coin can pass through dozens of hands before someone finally recognizes its worth. That's why awareness is everything. If you ever come across a 2000 Sacagawea dollar, don't rush. Take a moment. Look at it closely. Notice the shine, the details, the alignment. If something feels different, it might be worth investigating further. Sometimes, the smallest difference can lead to the biggest discovery. In the end, the truth is simple but powerful. Most coins are ordinary, but a few are not. The 2000 Sacagawea dollar sits right at that boundary between common and rare. It reminds us that value is not always obvious, and that sometimes the greatest opportunities come in the smallest forms. So hold on to your coins a little longer. Pay attention. Stay curious. Because somewhere out there, maybe even in your own pocket, a simple golden dollar could be waiting to change everything. Quietly, instantly, and forever. Third up, listen closely, because this is where hype meets reality, and where smart collectors separate truth from fantasy. The 2001 Sacagawea dollar is a fascinating coin, but the idea that every single one can turn you into a billionaire overnight is simply not true. That doesn't mean it's worthless. Far from it. Under the right conditions, with the right features, this coin can still carry surprising value and hidden potential. When the 2001 Sacagawea dollar was released, it marked the second year of the Golden Dollar series. After the massive production in 2000, demand dropped sharply, and fewer coins were made. Still, the Denver Mint produced over 70 million coins, which means most 2001 coins are quite common today. That's the first reality check. Rarity is a foundation of extreme value, and most of these coins are not rare. CoinValueChecker.com. At first glance, the 2001 Sacagawea dollar looks identical to others in the series. The warm golden color, the portrait of Sacagawea carrying her child, and the soaring eagle on the reverse, all of it appears standard. But in the world of coin collecting, value is not about appearance alone. It's about condition, uniqueness, and sometimes pure accident. Let's talk about condition, because this is where things start to get interesting. A circulated coin, one that has been used, scratched, or worn, is usually worth just around $1. But if a coin is preserved in near perfect condition, what collectors call mint state, its value can rise to several dollars or more. Still, that's nowhere near millions, but it's only the beginning. CoinValueChecker.com. The real excitement comes from the rare top-quality examples. Coins graded at the very highest levels, like MS-68, are extremely scarce for the 2001 D. In fact, only a small number have reached that level, and none have been recorded higher. One such coin sold for around $546 at auction, showing how condition alone can dramatically increase value. CoinValueChecker.com. Now imagine combining that high condition with something even rarer, an error. That's where the story changes completely. Minting errors are the secret door to higher value. These are coins that were struck incorrectly in some way, making them unique and desirable to collectors. Some 2001 Sacagawea dollars were struck off-center, meaning the design is shifted to one side. Others were made on the wrong metal planchet or show missing layers, giving them unusual colors or textures. These errors can push the value into hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on how dramatic and rare they are. Coino. There are also coins with unusual surfaces, darker tones, strange textures, or reflective finishes that look almost like proof coins. These are not common, and collectors pay attention to them because they stand out from normal coins. Even subtle differences can create demand if they are verified and graded. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. The 2001 Sacagawea dollar does not have a known million-dollar version like some legendary coins. The extreme value people talk about usually come from different coins, special experimental pieces, or extremely rare historical errors, not standard 2001 decirculation coins. That doesn't make this coin boring. It makes it realistic. Instead of chasing unrealistic dreams, smart collectors focus on what actually matters: condition, grading, and verified errors. A coin worth $1 today could become $500 or $1,000 with the right features, and that's still a huge jump. There's also a psychological side to this. Many people see listings online claiming these coins are worth thousands or millions. But listings are not sales. Real value comes from confirmed auctions, where collectors actually pay real money. And those numbers tell a more grounded story. Still, the thrill remains. Because somewhere out there, rare error coins do exist. A coin struck on the wrong metal, or with a dramatic flaw, could still surprise everyone. These are rare, unpredictable, and often discovered by accident, sometimes years later. Imagine checking your coins one day and spotting something unusual. The color feels off. The design looks misaligned. You take a closer look, and suddenly, that ordinary coin doesn't feel ordinary anymore. That moment, that spark of curiosity, is where every great discovery begins. So here's the final truth. The 2001 Sacagawea dollar is not a guaranteed path to millions, but it is a coin full of hidden possibilities. Most are worth only face value, but a few, under the right conditions, can be worth far more than anyone expects. And that's why you should never ignore it, because even if the chance is small, the possibility is real. Check your coins. Learn the details. Stay alert, because sometimes the difference between $1 and $1,000 is just a tiny detail hiding in plain sight. Fourth up, listen carefully, because this is where excitement meets reality in a powerful way. The 2002 Sacagawea dollar is one of those coins that can easily be misunderstood. Some people believe it holds overnight millionaire potential, but the truth is more nuanced, and honestly, more interesting if you understand it deeply. This coin is not about fantasy wealth. It's about hidden opportunity that only sharp eyes can recognize. When the 2002 Sacagawea dollar was released, something very important had changed. Unlike the earlier years, these coins were no longer widely released into everyday circulation. The Denver Mint still produced them, but most of the 2002 D coins were sold directly to collectors in special packaging. That means far fewer of them enter the hands of ordinary people, making them less common in daily use. At first glance, the 2002 Sacagawea dollar looks just like any other golden dollar. The same iconic image of Sacagawea with her child, the same flying eagle on the reverse, and the same smooth golden tone. But the story of this coin is not in how it looks, it's in how it exists. Because fewer were circulated, finding one in everyday change is already something unusual. Now here's where things start to get interesting. Because these coins were often kept by collectors, many of them remain in excellent condition today. That might sound like a good thing, and it is, but it also creates a unique situation. When many coins are preserved well, only the absolute best of the best become truly valuable. Condition is everything here. A regular 2002 D coin that has been used might still only be worth $1 or $2. But a coin in near perfect condition, sharp details, no scratches, strong shine, can be worth significantly more. And when you reach the highest grading levels, where only a tiny number of coins exist, prices can rise quickly. But let's address the big claim directly. The idea that a 2002 Sacagawea dollar can make you a billionaire overnight is not realistic. There is no known version of this coin that has reached millions of dollars in verified sales. That doesn't mean it has no value. It means the value depends on specific, rare conditions, not the coin alone. Where real excitement comes in is with errors. Minting errors are the secret behind many high-value coins. Even in a controlled environment like the U.S. Mint, mistakes can happen. A coin might be struck off-center, have double designs, or even be made on the wrong metal. These errors are rare, and rarity is what drives value. Imagine a 2002 Sacagawea dollar that was struck incorrectly. Maybe the design is shifted, or part of it is missing, or the surface looks completely different from normal coins. That coin instantly becomes unique. And in the world of collectors, uniqueness is everything. The rarer and more dramatic the error, the higher the demand. There are also cases where coins show unusual finishes, almost mirror-like surfaces or strange textures that don't match standard production. These are often the result of experimental processes or unexpected variations during minting. Again, these are not common, but when they appear, they attract serious attention. Another important factor is grading. Professional grading companies examine coins carefully and assign them a score based on condition. A top-grade coin, something close to perfection, can sell for hundreds or even over $1,000. That's a huge jump from just $1, even if it's not millions. Now think about the emotional side of this. The idea that something small and simple could hold hidden value is incredibly powerful. It creates curiosity, excitement, and even hope. And that's why stories about coins like the 2002 Sacagawea dollar spread so quickly, because people want to believe they might be holding something special. But smart collectors don't rely on hope alone. They rely on knowledge. They study details, compare coins, and understand what makes something valuable. They don't just assume every coin is rare. They look for proof. And that's a mindset that separates success from disappointment. If you ever find a 2002 Sacagawea dollar, don't ignore it, but don't blindly assume it's worth a fortune either. Examine it closely. Look at the condition, the shine, the details. Check for anything unusual, anything that doesn't look normal. Because if there is something different, that's where the real value might be hiding. The truth is simple but powerful. Most 2002 Sacagawea dollars are modest in value, but a small number, those with exceptional condition or rare errors, can be worth far more than people expect. Not millions, but still enough to surprise you in a big way. So don't chase unrealistic dreams, but don't miss real opportunities either. Stay aware, stay curious, because sometimes the difference between an ordinary coin and a valuable one is just a tiny detail, waiting for the right person to notice it. Fifth up, listen carefully. Saqib, because this is where the story gets intense. The 2001 Sacagawea dollar might look like just another golden coin, something ordinary that people ignore every day. But hidden behind that simple appearance is a world of mystery, value, and possibility. Not every coin will change your life, but the right one, under the right conditions, can absolutely surprise you in ways you never expected. When this coin was minted in 2001 at the Philadelphia Mint, it came after the massive release of the year 2000. The excitement around the Sacagawea dollar had slowed, and millions of coins were still being produced. But not all of them held the same future. Most entered circulation, passed through countless hands, and became worn over time. But a small number remained untouched. These are the ones that collectors care about. At first glance, the 2001 Sacagawea dollar carries the same iconic design. Sacagawea holding her child, a symbol of strength and guidance, and the eagle flying on the reverse side. It's a coin filled with meaning, but meaning alone doesn't create value. What creates value is rarity, condition, and uniqueness, and this is where things begin to shift. Let's be honest about one thing from the start. The idea that every 2001 Sacagawea dollar is worth millions is not true. Most of these coins are still worth just $1. But here's the twist. The few that stand out from the rest can be worth far more, and those are the ones that create all the excitement. Condition is one of the biggest factors. A coin that has been used in daily transactions will show wear, scratches, fading, and loss of detail. But a coin that has never been used, never touched harshly, and still shines like it just left the mint is something completely different. Collectors call this mint state, and at the highest levels, these coins become rare. Now imagine a 2001 Sacagawea dollar that is nearly perfect. Every detail is sharp, the surface is smooth, and the golden color is bright and untouched. Coins like this are not common, because most coins don't survive in such condition. When one does, it immediately becomes more valuable than the rest. But condition alone is only part of the story. The real magic happens when a coin also has something unusual about it, something that sets it apart. This is where minting errors come into play. Errors are the secret treasures of the coin world. They are mistakes that were never supposed to happen, and that's exactly why they are valuable. Some 2001 Sacagawea dollars show doubling in the design, where letters or images appear slightly duplicated. Others may be struck off-center, with the design shifted to one side. There are even cases where coins were struck on the wrong metal, giving them a completely different appearance. These are rare, and rarity creates demand. There are also coins with strange finishes, surfaces that look more reflective than normal, or textures that feel different when you touch them. These variations can come from experimental processes or unexpected changes during production. They are not easy to find, but when they are discovered, collectors pay attention. Now let's talk about value in a realistic way. A normal 2001p Sacagawea dollar in average condition is worth face value. A high-grade coin might be worth several dollars, maybe more. Rare era coins can reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on how unique they are. But reaching millions is extremely unlikely for this specific coin. Still, don't underestimate the power of discovery. Many valuable coins have been found by accident, hidden in collections, forgotten in drawers, or mixing with everyday change. The difference is that someone took the time to look closely, to question what they were seeing, and to recognize something unusual. Imagine that moment. You're holding a coin, just like any other, and suddenly you notice something different. Maybe the shine is stronger, maybe the design looks off, maybe there's a detail that doesn't match others. That small observation could be the beginning of something much bigger. The emotional impact of finding a valuable coin is incredible. It's not just about money. It's about the surprise, the excitement, and the realization that something so small can carry hidden worth. That feeling is what keeps collectors searching, learning, and paying attention. But here's the key lesson. Don't let excitement turn into blind belief. Not every coin is a jackpot. The real value comes from understanding what makes a coin special and being able to recognize it. Knowledge protects you from mistakes and helps you spot real opportunities. So if you ever come across a 2001p Sacagawea dollar, treat it with curiosity. Don't rush to spend it. Look at it carefully. Compare it with others. If something feels different, it might be worth exploring further. Because sometimes the smallest difference is all it takes to change everything. In the end, the 2001p Sacagawea dollar is not a guaranteed path to millions, but it is a coin full of potential. Most are ordinary, but a few are not. And those few are enough to remind us that value can hide in plain sight, waiting for the right person to discover it.